Hi, everyone. This is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and you're watching another episode of Wyrds, Witches, Witchcraft. Tonight, I'm here with my usual co-host, Obsidian Fire. Say hello.
Hey, bonsoir. Ce soir est une soirée un petit peu particulière. J'espère que vous apprécierez les tirages qui vont avoir lieu.
And tonight we have a guest, Aaron Lozano from Turtle Heart Tarot. Say hello, Aaron.
Hello.
Tonight we are going to be doing readings as we do every so often. I think it's like every other month we do readings with people in the chat. So if you are watching in the chat and you have a question, Aaron and I will be pulling cards for you. Obsidian Fire is going to be keeping her eye on chat and telling us the questions. It'd be really good if you write your questions in all capital letters so she can see them easier. And Aaron and I will do quick readings for you. We'll try to get through as many people as we can. If you do ask a question, please try to keep it to one question. If we have time, we'll go back through a second question, but we want to keep it to one question a person so that everybody has an opportunity to ask and we have an opportunity to answer you. Aaron does have a website as well as I do, and we read tarot professionally. So if you want a more in-depth reading from Aaron or myself, our information is in our links are down there in the information section. Or you can actually, on my Facebook page, I generally share information, Aaron's readings of the week. So his links are there too. He's on Facebook. So check him out. Go find him. Go find him. He's a great reader. So yes, hello, Spiral Monkey. Hey, Hellbound. Hey, Jessica. So if anyone has a reading, anybody has a reading, can I tell you? It's been one of those days. Anyone have a question? We are here to answer your questions. It would be crazy if we actually had a night where no one had questions.
It would. We'd have to come up with the subject then.
I know, right? Right.
We will find something if needed.
Oh, this is true. We can always talk tarot. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Of course.
I can ask something if you want.
Do you have a question? Do you have a question, Obsidian?
Oh, why not?
Okay.
If no one in the chat.
No one's asking right now, so go for it.
At the moment, maybe they are writing right now, and
maybe, but we can start with you.
Yeah. See.
Oh, all right.
Is 2019 going to be for America? Jessica Gold is asking.
How is 2019 going to be for America? Oh, jeez. What deck are you using tonight, Aaron?
Tonight I'm using my favorite, the Hampton Roberts, and the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle Tarot deck.
Okay, cool. I'm using Book of Shadows Volume 1 as above.
How are you liking that? That's more, you have to know what's on there. Like,
yeah.
'cause it's teaching you, spellcraft. It's teaching you the gods and goddesses. It's teaching you all this stuff, And
it's okay. I can't say that I am totally in love with it. I thought I would. Maybe if I would have come across the deck last year, I may feel differently. But since I'm sort of moving away from Wicca's foundational stuff, some of the stuff is like, oh, I know what you're trying to say, but I don't resonate with it right now. So it's all right. It's all right. All right. What do you got? How's 2019 going to be for America?
Well, I do feel like just feeling it, I feel like there's going to be more change coming. We're not on this level of, hey, there's going to be this level of calmness. I think more change is coming towards us. But I do feel it's going to be positive change because the Ace of Coins comes up. So it's more, we're going to move in the direction that we as a society should be moving towards.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've got fire. I got air. this deck uses the elements instead of the suits. So we get some fire. The Ace of Fire is what I see here. So yeah, purification, I feel like transformation. I don't think it's going to necessarily be easy transformation, but there's definitely transformation. And when we come out on the other end, I do feel like there'll be more wisdom and understanding and knowledge of what we want more, it'll be more solidified. So I do feel like there's definitely changes coming still. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
For the moment, no. There is no question in the chat.
Okay. So how you can get readings, type in your question in capital, all caps. We're going to do readings, again, as I said, in order. One question per person. So if you just want to know if you want a reading tonight, just ask. Rider-Waite, Hellbound uses Rider-Waite deck. Yeah, I like the Rider-Waite too.
Me too. It's a good deck to start out with, and I think that's what I gear more towards now that I've gone through all of my stages of collecting and hoarding tarot decks. For me, it's like it's more. I'd say comforting. I'd say I understand it. I look at tarot decks as like a good friend. So you build this relationship with them, and it's going to be a deck you want to see every day. It's going to be a face you want to see every day, and you're going to want to go to them for the real tea. Like you want to know the business, and so that's what you want to go to with the tarot deck. Yes, you can get fancy. Yes, you can get frivolous. But in all reality, do you want to go with somebody who's going to give you, not the business, or someone who's going to give it to you for real and tell you, hey, you're fucking up or something, you need to get back on the right track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Spiraling Monk is asking, I had a dream a couple nights ago where I helped a loved one overcome a very great obstacle. Was this dream supposed to be a premonition?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there is definitely premonition aspects to that dream. I do feel like this is a first experience but you're going to have more similar dreams / premonitions. I feel like this is the beginning of something new for you. I get the Ace and Earth shows up, which really talks about bringing things from the ethereal into the physical. So the way I'm interpreting that is telling me that the dreams that you're having in the ethereal are meant to be manifested in the physical. So that's why I'm saying these sorts of dreams that you're having, you're going to have more frequently, and they're meant for you to get these messages so that you can help or manifest whatever this is.
I got the Sun, so that tells me yes, that they will overcome that obstacle that you're dreaming of, and yes, that it is more on this is information. So premonition wise, and you are receiving this so that you can tell them you're going to get through it. That's what I feel is going on, is that they're going to come to you to ask you, am I going to get through this? And you're going to have to say, yes, you are, because you don't have to tell them you had the dream, but you can just say, I know that you're going to be fine. Yeah. That's what
Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Lisette, I know that is asking, should I file for divorce from my Libra ex? We're separated. I'm a pieces. So I guess, should I file for divorce?
Okay, let's see.
And she said that the person was a Libra.
Yeah,
the one that
she's
a okay.
Yeah, she's a
and
Pisces.
The person is Pisces.
I'm probably going to start with sound advice for this kind of situation. You always want to go into situations as far as divorce and such with a thought of being fair. And even though they could tell you they're going to be nice and generous and it's okay, you always want to have that backup. You always want to have your, something in your, corner pocket so that just in case something happens, I would seek counsel just to have your information correct. And on this one, I don't consider it a fight, but I do feel you need to be prepared for anything that happens because divorce is very tricky. And so that's, even with the card, it's the Scorpio, there's this fire, rage, and you don't know how they could act when they're put in the circumstance of court and law. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I do feel like there is divorce coming, but I feel like that sort of like what Aaron's saying, I feel like there's information that you don't have that you would benefit from having. So as he was saying, sort of making sure you have things just in case. I don't necessarily, like he said, see that this is going to be a big fight. I almost feel like it's going to be, agreeable, but there's information that you don't have that you would benefit from having. Because, and definitely there's transformation going on here. There's change happening. So I do feel like there is divorce, but there's more information you need before you can really go forward with it.
Okay, so next one. So Ayurvedika Shakti asked, how will next year be for me?
How will next year be for her? Yeah, I don't know how you say her name either. Sorry.
Ayurvedika Shakti. Something
Shakti.
Like this.
Oh yeah, because Shakti is the end of it. Yeah. We're just going to call you Shakti. How will next year be for her?
I'll look away from the card and then I'll come back to it.
All right. So is it my turn? I don't remember who went first. Okay. Yeah. So, the first card that I'm looking at is the God. And so just looking at him and the image that I'm looking at here, there definitely seems to be a very strong, aggressive energy looking around you for next year. So I feel like either tapping into that, being, embracing that energy yourself, sort of aspecting, characteristics or traits of whatever divine masculine energy means for you is going to be a benefit for you next year. I also see fire and air coming up as well, which again tells me about purification, getting rid of things that maybe aren't in alignment with what you see for yourself in the coming year. But I also see, the specific card, the Six of Air, talks to me about inspiration and knowledge and taking what you've learned, not necessarily wisdom, but book knowledge, gaining book knowledge and using that to your benefit with, that very strong masculine energy. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of action happening, but you being the one that sparks this action.
Yep. I agree 100% with that. And I just want to add that I got the Hanged Man, and that already tells me. I feel like there's going to be a lot of change, like you're going to have to strike when the iron is hot. Like this is the year to do it. Everything like you've learned is now time to fucking put it into action. And I feel like it's going to happen this year. And I want to say it's having to do with maybe your career or something, but I feel like all of that's got to be put into motion. Like CricketSong said, like yes, it's time to do it and to show your force this year. Then the year coming.
Okay, so now it's for Joe Wilson. What is my next move for moving forward with my hypnotherapy practice?
Hypnotherapy practice?
Yeah, hypnotherapy, sorry.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting so warm over here. Whenever I start reading, I always get so warm.
You need a fan.
I know, right? It only happens when I'm reading, man. Whew. Like a hot flash. Okay, let's see. Hypnotherapy. What is my next move? All right. I really feel like it's going to be prosperous. Like anything that we put our heart into, it will be prosperous. But I really feel like in the first 6 months or so, you don't want to let it get you down if what you're trying to create with that business is not transpiring. You need to think outside of that box when it comes to creating clients, when it comes to bringing in those clients. I feel like you have clients already, but there could be more. I think you need to think bigger in the first 6 months rather than, well, I'm just starting out and I don't know if it's going to work or not. So I say, yes, go forward with it. I say, yes, it's going to be prosperous. But those 6 months, you're going to really have to work on manifesting. Yeah, what I would say in addition to that is that the omen card comes up. So this tells me to be aware of whatever signs or information you're getting, intuitive hits, or look for the omens, look for the signs, because it seems like spirit or your guides or whatever you work with or whatever you follow in your own spiritual practice, they're trying to guide you down the path that would be most beneficial for you. And like Aaron said, I do feel like you have a budding business, like you have clients or clients in waiting, but I feel like and I feel like there's great potential there. I feel like you have the world card came up, which tells me you have empowerment here and everything is at your fingertips. But looking for the signs or heeding the advice will help you go in the direction that'll be most beneficial. And if you don't pay attention, you could, go down a road that may lead you with more challenges than benefits, if that makes sense.
Okay, so Jesse H is asking, are there spirits communicating to me or trying to at my home?
Okay, Jesse. Ooh, one card jumped out. Ooh, I love it when that happens. I know, right? Huh. I like that card too. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to get 2 other cards here. Are you pulling 3 cards, Aaron? How many cards?
I actually, yeah, I thought you were pulling 3 cards, so I started to do it.
I
Okay, good.
I'm pulling 3 cards. Okay. Jeez, this card has been coming up like crazy. This Mabon card. Let's see. The first card that jumped out here is Air card. What I feel like is, well, I guess not necessarily. I guess, all right. So spirits. I don't necessarily feel. All right, wait. There is something trying to communicate with you. But when I think of spirits, I think of a particular spiritual entity. I don't feel like it's beloved dead that you are getting or that's trying to communicate with you. I feel like we're really talking about something more like fae-ish type spirits or spiritual entities that were never in a physical body is what I'm feeling that's trying to communicate with you, whatever that is, you know, whether they're angels, whether they're fae, whether they're other spiritual entities. I just don't feel like they're beloved dead that's trying to communicate with you. But something is. Let me just reference this because I know this is a particular god here and I'm not really sure what god this is. Let me just look. Oh man. That's the problem with this deck. I don't know. Aaron, you go and while I try to figure out who this is.
I do feel that there are spirits. I do feel like this is more of a, like you asked for this spirit to be around or something. Like you wanted to open yourself up and then here's what's being contacted. Like I do feel like they're there for your higher good. Maybe it's I don't know, like your higher self or something, but I feel like you asked for this to come in and you allowed it, and now you're trying to figure out how to communicate with that. It's hard as far as on medium mystic, because with medium, I have to, I want to ask you all these questions and do you know this person? But I feel like it's more created. It's not, I just feel like they're there to help you. So it could be spirit guide or something.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, I thought this was a god. It's not. It's a planet. I don't know. This deck, I forget that the deck, there's fire is planets. Fires are planets, not gods. But I guess the one thing I would suggest is that meditation, getting into a meditative place in order to make the connection so that you can figure out who this is or what spirits are trying to communicate with you would be, the best. But I agree, it's something that you asked for or requested. Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, next one. Sophia Montoya wants to know, will Nicholas contact her soon?
Will Nicholas contact Sophia soon? Yeah, I don't know about this deck. I mean, the images are beautiful, but
they are.
I don't know.
And the So Below, you said you didn't like some of the images on So Below because it is kind of cartoonish, I think you said.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But her So Below is good. It's more descriptive and more modern in the symbolism as far as Rider Wyatt. But yeah, I can see how it's like, okay, I don't like that particular thing.
Yeah, I don't like the planets specifically, but whatever. There's a reason why I bought it, so I gotta use it. Oh, Obsidian, this is a card for you.
Something's burning? Oh yeah, it is for me.
It is. Look at that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I know, right? I should take a picture and like tag you in it. And
Uh,
that'll be your
yeah.
card. From now on, I'm gonna, when that card, Mother of Fire, when that comes up, I'll think of you. All right.
I feel like there's more involved in this, Sophia. I feel like it's not just about calling, or will he call? I think he'll call, but not in the time frame you want it. That's all I can do.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. He will eventually call, but it's not going to be as quick as you want.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like, did she say call or contact? Because I feel like, before she actually speaks with him, she's going to learn something, or hear a rumor, or hear something about him through someone else. Like she'll have some kind of contact with him, but not with him directly. And then eventually she'll have direct contact with him. But I do feel like there is something that needs to transpire first. And I'm almost feel like this first contact isn't going to happen until the end of the month or the beginning of January.
Sorry, just give me a second.
Sure.
Oh no, it's gonna be easier to say it out loud. Please write your question in capital letters. It's easier for me to keep up with. And be patient. No need to ask third time the same question. I'm doing my best to keep up with, but I can't be everywhere at the same time. Okay, so now we have Shadowlander, I think. Yeah, Shadowlander. So she is asking, is the music the right career path for me?
Okay. Is music the right career path? Do I go first or yeah? Okay, I was waiting for you. I'm like, do. Oh no, I go first. Okay, I feel like it is, but I also at the same time feel like music would be a good career path for you because something about it, whether it's something you've studied a lot or something that's in your family or something you feel drawn to, but I almost feel like there's something else that you could also follow and be successful at. So, and I'm getting the feeling of something else that's very creative, meaning that, maybe there's storytelling or something like that. Like if you write music, if you perform music, there is something very similar to that isn't necessarily just music that you would be successful at, something that you enjoy just as much in a creative aspect, that you could also be successful at, something that you maybe love just as much. So even though I feel like music is a good career path for you, it's not your only option.
Yeah. I feel that whatever you like, it kind of goes with whatever you put your heart into, you'll excel at. And so I feel like you're just saying music, but yeah, like she says, anything you could be I feel like it is creativity, like art. Like you could be an art teacher and still get the same satisfaction. So if you want to be a singer or music, have at it. But you're gonna have to understand that your whole being has to be within that. It can't be half-hearted, or else it's gonna fail. So, yeah.
Okay. Next question. Lavender Moon is asking, what's my next move financially?
What's my next move financially?
Financially. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They get vaguer and vaguer.
I know, right?
Hmm. What's the name of the person again?
Lavender Moon. I think there is more time dials or something like this. Lavender Moon.
Next move financially.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this month is a time of waiting. Nothing should be done until the next year. I feel like if you were to start anything now, you would not see the growth from it right now. You wouldn't see it until the next year. I feel like whatever you put yourself into, it will be prosperous. But for some reason, December is just not happening. I feel like you know that. Like you're trying so hard this month and it's just not clicking. Next month will be better. So why don't you let things just be as they are now and allow Source to take over? And then next year will be financially stable. I feel like growth will happen then.
I totally agree. Like totally agree. I feel like there's potential, but it's not wise to take action. Like if you have a plan and like Aaron said, you already know this. You've gotten signs, you've gotten understandings, you intuitively know that even though you have this great plan, it should not be implemented until January. This is the crone's time. This is the time of rest. This is the time for planning and for you actually doing or implementing whatever it is you have planned in January, not now, not in these next few weeks.
Okay. Next one is Kaylith. She wants to know, I could be given advice about my relationship with Alex. Okay.
Relationship about Alex. Oh, these cards. I have cards that keep jumping out. Like, what the heck? Alex. All right. Am I first?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
So there's definitely physical attraction here. We definitely have some chemistry, some fire, some sizzle. So this is, I mean, if I feel like if there isn't a physical interaction happening, I feel like that's coming. So that's happening very soon. Okay. Fire, lots of fire. All three cards are fire. So definitely fire. I guess the one thing I'd say is be careful because fire can burn out really quickly. So you want to definitely nurture the fire if you want this relationship to last a long time, or maybe not. Maybe you want to hit and go. That's possible too. But I feel like if there isn't a physical happening or connection going on right now, that it is something that's definitely going to happen. If there is already, then just nurture that because there is sort of a possibility that it could die out quickly if you don't sort of tend the fire kind of thing.
I also feel like I agree. I also feel that Alex has a lot of growing up to do. I feel that the relationship depends on whether he's willing to move forward completely or not. That's my only advice on that one.
Fire, fire, fire. Sizzle.
Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kelly wants to know, will I meet my soulmate? Which is,
Soulmates, huh?
yeah,
Hmm.
kind of a deep question.
Oh, Kelly.
Since you asked such a universal question that soulmate is this, I see it as this, you're asking for the perfect thing.
Match. Mm.
I would have to say that the cards are advising there's a lot of growth that needs to happen in order for the two to come together. Will you meet your soulmate? I always say yes. Anybody can meet their soulmate, but it's asking the question of yourself, have you done the work to release all of the stuff that we've accumulated in our lifetime? Have you worked through all your issues? Have you worked on yourself? Can you be by yourself? Those are the questions that I usually say. If you want to meet your soulmate, they're also going to be looking for those same things as well. So it would be a yes eventually if the work is done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these cards and I'm saying, yes, you will meet your soulmate, but mine would be, are you going to recognize this person when you meet them? Which goes hand in hand with what Aaron was saying. If you haven't done the work, then you'll meet them and you won't recognize them as a soulmate. Two of the three cards are fire. The third one is air. So this tells me that and you have the ace, which to me talks about, it's the sun in this deck. And it talks about, or at least I interpret it to mean, there are things that need to be illuminated in your life, things you need to shed light on in your life. You need to see clearly, and you need to be willing to work through it, because then you have the six of fire here, which is Saturn, the planet Saturn, which then speaks again about moving through things. So yeah, you will, but will you recognize this person if you haven't worked through things, illuminated the shadows, recognized things that need to be adjusted before you would recognize them? So
Yeah. I think a good question that person should have asked is, will I meet somebody next year? Because I do feel like there will be somebody there to date. I feel like love will come into their life. But when they hone it down to a soulmate, you're basically saying to the universe, I want this person and they have to be this. But like we say, you have to recognize that spirit. If you don't recognize, you're going to bypass the whole thing.
Okay, next one. Ren Witch wants to know, should I trust the visions that I have been getting, or is it just my subconscious mind talking?
Jeez, okay. Should I trust the visions, or is it just me telling myself shit, right?
Yeah.
I paraphrase.
I know that. I know this feeling.
Let's see.
They're making us work for our money today.
I know, right? Oh, let me see. Huh.
Is it my turn?
I don't know. I was just going to ask you, whose turn is it? Whose turn is it?
I think it's yours, Cricket.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So I had to. I picked like three to say, should I trust my visions, and I picked another three that says, am I just talking shit to myself? And interesting enough, I get It's neither. What I'm actually getting here is the Samhain card came up, Mabon came up, and Lamas came up. So when I see the harvest cards came up, and Samhain, oh, actually, the 3 harvests came up.
Interesting.
So I know. So I would interpret that as they're not necessarily visions per se, but they're messages for you. And because I see Samhain here, and actually I see Mahat here too, I almost feel like what we're talking about is messages from the beloved dead. So not necessarily visions, meaning, you know, premonition type things, but I almost feel like they're messages for you specifically. So they're not you talking shit to yourself or trying to tell yourself. I do feel like it's coming from on the other side, or from beyond the veil, or however you want to interpret that. But they're messages for you specifically.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would read that.
Yes, and I feel like they're advising that they're trying to ward you away from certain things or people or places because you're not meant to go that route. And so I would listen to them, or I would adhere to what you're receiving, because spirit works in signs and symbols. And so that's their way of communicating. Yes.
Yeah, just to add my 2 cents, very it's exceptional, but I've pulled a card too for you, Renrich, which I don't do usually.
Oh, I love it.
from my own deck. That's why we will talk about that later in several months. But it came out loud and clear. It's a message. So I agree. Okay, next one. So I had several second question, but I think I have a new one. Yeah, it's from Shiny Mist, who wants to know, how can I start to overcome the low self-confidence? I know what you are talking about. I get when I am around other people. Oh, we're an obsidian. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How can I start to overcome the low self-confidence I get when I'm around other people? Love yourself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. And if you are an empath, protect yourself.
That's not even pulling cards.
No.
Yeah.
It's just good advice.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I think that the low self-confidence, I think you need to allow yourself. I think the key word here is healing. I think the key word here is working through that. I think the key word here is feeling good about yourself. I think that there are a lot of things that have happened in your past that have led you to this insecure feeling. I really feel like this is about your path. Like, I really feel like this is about being the witch or being the psychic or being whatever it is you want to call yourself. But on the spiritual level, I feel like that self-confidence needs to develop first, and then you'll shine. I think me and Craig had talked about this one time, like a spectacular witch is one that can transmute the energy in a room that they walk into. And that's your goal in this, to overcome that that insecurity, is to be the person that you're supposed to be and love yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the cards that I pulled here talk about tuning into that child that you have within you, your inner child, and healing whatever wounds that child you is holding and isn't, for whatever reason, is just hiding those wounds and not trying to heal from them. So there's a suggestion of connecting with water here. There's a suggestion here of focusing on your strengths. So while you're healing from your wounds, focusing on your strengths and embracing those strengths and nurturing the strengths and being confident in those strengths that you have, along with having faith in yourself and building the faith in your gods or whatever it is that you work with, that they will guide you through and guide you to be with the people that you don't need to be concerned about, you know, the people who will build you up and not try to hold you down or cut you down.
Okay, next one. So it's gonna be your Vedika Shakti again. I wonder when things will be resolved in my life again.
So like maybe calm, resolve, like peace. I think that's how I'm gonna take it.
Like there's a problem that they want to find a resolution for?
It's, yeah, I suppose it is that. Okay. When things gonna be clear and easy again, I suppose.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go that route. Mm-hmm. Just as I thought. No.
Let's see. All right, so the cards that I see that are coming up are really talking about divine feminine energy. So this suggests to me that embracing that within you, aligning yourself with everything that you associate with divine feminine. And when you align yourself with that energy and really go with that energy, that's going to help you find the ways to bring in the peace or to find the resolutions to the situations that you may be encountering. So it's not necessarily a specific time or a specific date, but it's when you're able to align yourself and embrace these qualities and this energy of whatever divine feminine speaks to you, including self-love, because I do feel like there's an element of self-love here as well.
I feel like there's a lot of searching that needs to happen. I feel like there's a lot of soul searching. I feel like there's a lot of looking for things, and I feel like it's there. I feel like it'll happen, you know, like you're at the cusp of things being calm because you're searching, but you have to go looking for that. And I feel like you're in that moment of looking. So like Cricket said, I don't feel like there's a time frame, but I feel like it's happening right now, and it's going to start subduing as you start to come in tune with all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you won. Jade wants to know, should I go back to college? How do you say that?
College.
Thank you. Or move away and start over?
Oh.
Should I go to college or move away and start over? I tell you, I like the feel of these cards. I like the size of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the images. I mean, they're pretty. They're pretty, but I don't know. Oh.
Which deck is it?
It's the Book of Shadows as above.
Okay.
I need to try some of those other cards that someone sent me. I gotta try those maybe. All right. Should you, what was it? Go to college, go back to college, or go to college? Go back to college or move away and start over? Oh, geez. Okay. All right. If I'm choosing between the two, I'd say move away and start over. But there needs to be something that you have going on where you are, something unresolved. You need to take care of that first. Instead of running away without addressing it, this suggests that you address it before you move away. Because what I see here is that the card, the Samhain card, is showing up for you, which tells me there is something that needs to be dealt with before you leave. Otherwise, it's just going to follow you. It's going to haunt you if you don't deal with it first. Going back to college, I feel like the Omen card shows up here. I feel like you have signs that this is something that you already have an answer to that. You already know, what that's about, why you left to begin with. I feel like something there isn't addressed. And I feel like I see the Mother of Water here. She's sort of washing that away, almost like whatever happened there, whatever you dealt with there, whatever experience you had is sort of like, you're washing that away kind of thing. So I would say move away, but not until you deal with whatever it is that needs to be handled before you move. That's what I say.
I agree. I think there will be a lot of positive change if you were to move away, but I do have to say this, all roads lead to home. I feel like whatever, even if you were to go to college or move away, like she's saying, something needs to be handled and you're going to be taken back home to deal with all of that there. And home is what we make of it. So whether it's home where we grew up in or our home that we considered, the place that we fell in love, whatever, but something needs to happen first, like CricketSong said.
Okay, next one. From Mike. Will self-publishing my first book be possible in 2019?
Ooh, self-publishing. Woohoo. Let's see.
In 2019, I feel like there's already a date in place and he's asking to see if that date's going to happen or not. But I'm going to tell him that it's going to happen after that date. So if you're asking if it's going to be published, I feel like yes, but it's not the date that you're expecting it to be.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to come right out and say it looks like not 2019. Not that that's a bad thing, though. What I'm seeing here is, hold on, there is a goddess here. Let me just look at this goddess. I think I know who it is, but some of them look the same. I'm telling you, is it Lakshmi or Sarasvati? Because I can't tell the difference. Lakshmi. Oh, see, I knew. I said, is it Lakshmi or
Yes.
Sarasvati? It's Lakshmi. So there's prosperity, but I don't feel like, because she represents prosperity, but I don't feel like the prosperity is coming in 2019. It looks like that things are going to be underway. There's things that you need to do, whether it's getting an editor, whether it's proofreading, whether it's cover art, whether it's a rewrite, whether it's, I feel like there is something. You're on the path in 2019. You're working to get it done, but the prosperity for you doesn't come in 2019. So even if you were to self-publish in 2019, I don't think you're going to have the prosperity that you're seeking in 2019, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to say. Lakshmi, Saraswati. Anyway, sorry.
No problem. Okay, next one. Cindy wants to know, should I what? Try. Should I try to work things out with my husband, or is it hopeless?
Oh, jeez.
Ah.
Why are you asking us this, Cindy?
we need to have disclaimers now.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't want to answer that. Oh man, Cindy, you need a more in-depth than quick. Jeez.
Hmm.
Who goes first? Please tell me it's not me.
It is you. Do you want me to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. You should. Okay. You should go first.
I feel like I twisted it because it's, okay. I asked, what's the relationship like? Because I want to get that based. I feel like, what's her name? Cindy?
Yeah.
Cindy? I feel like, Cindy, that you're growing faster than he is. I feel like you're advancing spiritually, and so you're more willing to work things out, and I feel like he's not willing to work things out. I feel like you're supposed to go through this. I feel like this is a lesson, and I feel that whatever you choose will be prosperous. I really don't want to say, I don't want to be the one to rule on your marriage, so I feel like you need to go with what you feel is right.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to assume that Cindy is a magical practitioner, whether you're a witch or whether you're whatever it is, a law of attraction person who manifests in this way. Looking at the cards that I pulled, it tells me that you have the ability to manifest whatever it is you want, however it is you do that. I do feel like there is some conflict within the marriage. I do feel like action is going to happen. I do feel like there is a lack of communication happening here. I feel like you are the one who wants to communicate. You're the one who wants to talk it out. You're the one who wants to, get him to, or her. Husband. Okay. There is a lack of communication happening, and you want him to respond. You want him to talk to you. But for whatever reason, there is this breakdown in communication. The wisdom card comes up here, which tells me that using your wisdom, you deciding, you understanding what the marriage is like, where you'd like to see the marriage, and whether or not it's going to get there, you already know this. So I feel like whether it's spell work that you do on your own for yourself, to help with the communication, for you to better understand his perspective, I feel like that might be helpful. Opening up where there is sort of this breakdown might be helpful. Aiding in healing your wounds or healing the breakdown might be helpful. And the goddess Hecate shows up here as well. So I don't know if you work with her or if she is a goddess that you are interested in. I feel like she can help you understand what this underlying current is going on with the marriage. So I don't necessarily feel like you need to give up on it. But I feel like there is work to be done if you want to salvage it. Yeah. And that's it. That was our last question.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
it's
did our
already
hour.
9. It's almost after 9. Well, it is after 9:30.
Yeah.
But that is all she wrote. Da-da-da-dun. Thank you, Aaron. This was good. We got a lot of questions out. Thank you,
We
everybody.
do.
Thank you, Obsidian,
Yes.
for staying on top of that. Because that got busy.
Thank you.
I was
Yeah.
like, there's no way I could have kept up with that. Are you kidding? Thank you, everybody. And if you're interested in an in-depth reading with either Aaron or myself, you can find us on our websites or on Facebook. Aaron's links are in the information section of this video. And I link to some of his blog posts once a week when he publishes them. So you should be able to find him there too. And he will return again in a month or two. I think, in March? January or February. I don't know. We need to figure that out before I let you go. But anyways, thank you all for being a part of it. And check out my Facebook page on Wednesdays. I do live pick-a-cards. So that's always fun. So check that out. And until next time, I love you all. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Obsidian.
Yeah. J'espère que cette petite session de tirage de tarot vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à laisser des commentaires et retrouvez-nous la semaine prochaine pour une fac. À bientôt. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone. Blessed be.
Good night.